I love practicing cinematography. I'm obsessed with it, and I have been for years. And last week I did exactly that. Here are the shots that I took, and today I'm going to show you how I shot them and how easy it was. I truly think that it is so important to practice your craft. After all, that is one of the best ways to learn. I'm a very practical learner. That's the best way I learn, is from doing it and then making the mistakes and learning from that. For me, it's not necessarily about sticking to the rules. It's more about seeing what works and seeing how it looks through the lens. When you think of cinematography, you probably think of a massive studio, a large array of lenses, and lots of expensive lights. But it doesn't have to be all of that stuff, and I think these shots are a prime example of that. In the grand scheme of things, I didn't actually use a lot of equipment to get these shots. So let's dive into exactly how I got these shots. My regular viewers will already know this, but the camera body was the Sony a6700, which might surprise a few of you. It wasn't a full frame camera, it wasn't an FX3, although I would love an FX3. But yeah, I have made so much content about this camera on my channel, from video montages to best lenses, best accessories, best settings, all sorts of things. So if you are interested in this camera, then definitely go over to my channel and feel free to watch all of those videos because you might find them really useful. In terms of lenses, I used two. The main one I used was the Sony 35mm f1.8, and the second one I used was the Sigma 16mm f1.4. I only actually used the Sigma lens for one shot, and that was the close-up of the eye. You can get really close to this lens, which is great because then you can capture loads of detail. The rest of the shots were on the 35mm because it's just a very flattering focal length, and the aperture f1.8 just means it's really good for low light. I know that 50mm is really flattering as well, but I didn't go for that lens for two reasons. One, I don't actually have one, and two, the room itself is actually quite small, so the 50mm would have been a little bit too tight, when the 35mm allowed me to kind of come back a little bit and have a bit more space in the frame. And finally, to get that really nice soft look in camera, I used a 1/4 mist filter. Mist filters are just one of the best things. They just make your footage look so nice. I do have a 1/8 mist filter, but I went for the 1/4 because I wanted the effect to be much stronger. In terms of camera settings, I used S-Log3. I have actually done a whole video about my camera settings, so if you are interested in that, here's a card and there's also a link in the description. It's also worth mentioning that I shot everything at 60 frames per second. There were a few shots that I wanted in slow motion, and at the time I wasn't really too sure which ones they were going to be. At one point I thought the whole thing would be in slow motion, so I just shot everything at 60 FPS. Not sure if that's necessarily a good thing, but that's just what I did. If you are enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're getting pretty close to 2,000 subscribers, which is so cool. Also, make sure you're following my Instagram and TikTok because that is where I post all of my short form content. I also post a lot of behind the scenes and just general social media stuff, so check those out, links in the description. So let's talk lighting. There were two practical lights in these shots and then two more that I set up. The two practicals were literally just lamps that I have in the house. The main light I used was the Amaran 60X by Aperture. It's such an incredible light. You can do effects. It's also bicolor, so you can change the white balance. It's also what I'm using right now. And you can also control it on your phone. In terms of diffusion, I used the SmallRig 85-inch softbox. This softbox is so good. It has two layers of diffusion and then also the honeycomb grid. It just gives off such a lovely soft light, and it's brilliant. The second light I used was the Ulanzi RGB video light. I love this light so much. I've actually made a whole video about it, so if you are interested, check out the card. My friend had this in front of his phone screen so it would illuminate his face. I found that the brightness of the phone screen wasn't cutting it, and also using this light just meant I had complete control over the brightness and color. The scene as a whole had a lovely orange glow to it, so I thought it would be really nice to make the phone screen appear blue, and it just kind of helps balance things out, and it just looks really nice. With the main light, I tried to match the white balance as closely as I could to the two practical lights that were in the shot. That way it looks like the scene's being lit by just those two lamps. Another thing worth mentioning is I tried to shoot as much as I could on the shadow side of the subject. That way I could get a really nice orange glow on the side of the face and in the hair, and it just really helps bring depth to the shot. This shot came out looking so good. I have a really cool mirrored coffee table, so what I did was I set the camera down really low and tried to frame up my subject through the reflection, and then I just panned up, and it kind of gave this like really cool double dimension kind of situation. I don't really know, but it just looked really cool. In this shot where he turned off the lamp, I had to make sure to turn off the main light at the exact same time, just to really sell the fact that the light was coming from the two practicals. Also worth mentioning, I shut all of the blinds so that I had complete control over the light. Also, I needed it to be quite dark anyway. Another thing I used was atmospheric aerosol. This stuff is really, really cool, and I just sprayed it around the room just to kind of get that nice haze look. It wasn't too strong, it was quite subtle, but that's kind of what I was going for. And in terms of filming, that's pretty much everything I did. Once I'd finished color grading, I did some finishing touches using a plugin called Dehancer. I've actually done a whole video about Dehancer, so check out the card again, loads of plugs, but it's really good. I took off all the settings, but I left on halation and bloom, and it just kind of helps bring a really nice glow to your footage. If you want to check out Dehancer, there's a link in the description, and if you use the code JettReels at checkout, you'll get 10% off. It's basically just a very powerful film emulation plugin, so you can add things like film grain and halation and bloom and all sorts of things. It's really, really cool. Check out that video if you're interested. By the way, genuine question, would anyone be interested if I released a LUT pack? I've been thinking about it for a while. Let me know. But yeah, that is basically in a nutshell how I got these shots. I guess what I'm trying to show you in this video is that you don't need a massive production and loads of camera gear to create some really nice looking shots. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Lighting breakdowns is like one of my passions, so I'd love to make more of them. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found it enjoyable. Have a great rest of your day or evening, and I'll see you in the next video.